Good morning. My name is Melissa Lewis. I have the honor of being the guest artist for you guys this morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles virtual service. I'm going to start off with an oldie, but it's a goodie, so feel free to sing along. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yeah, this world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Yeah, another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yes, this world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Yeah, take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. Well, I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yes, this world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Yeah. Put a little love in your heart. Yeah. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi, thank you for welcoming us in with such a wonderful song of inspiration and a wonderful song of invitation and a wonderful song with a great instruction for all of us.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you with us today as our musical artist. And so you've set the stage for us to have a beautiful Sunday morning as we close out the month of January here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. So I know you're excited and I'm excited and Travis is in the background. He's excited. And I trust to know everyone who's joining us today is as well. So I look forward to seeing you a little bit later in the service as you come back and sing several songs for us.
All right.
Cool. So see you in a moment. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I'm the spiritual leader for our beloved community. We are a community that has come together for over 30 years now to come together and find a space for us individually and collectively so that we can remember who we are as divine beings, to remember that our role in life is to put a little love in our hearts and then to spread that love. The reason that that's important for us to do that is because love is the essence of the divine, that omniscient, omnipresent, all pervasive energy and power in the universe. It's that which you are and that which I am. We individualize it and we experience it and express it as we use our mind, our heart, our soul, our being. And so to keep it simplistic, to just put a little love in our heart and then to let it out. And so we come together today to be reminded for us to do that, to find ways to be inspired, to choose new ways to experience and express the divine that we are each imbued with, to remember that deep within us is this core of source energy that is there to light up our lives so that we may walk a pathway of illumination, thus providing light and experience and example for others to do the same. And so thank you for joining us, whether you're joining us live in person, meaning through the Zoom and or Facebook or our YouTube channel, or at a later date. Know that just where you are today, in this very moment, in the exact space and location that you are. You are a being of light, and you are perfect, and you're whole, and you are complete, just as you are. And so let's let that be the baseline from how we move about our time together today. I'm putting on the screen a couple of slides to welcome us into this virtual space that we have today. And you can see that as it shows the twinkling stars out in the sky, that is to remind us that you and I are each part of that cosmic dust of the universe. And so as a community, we come together to support individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. So let's see what's going on here. There we go. And so a big hello to each and every one of you. We like to open our service on Sunday mornings with the act of namaste. It's a Sanskrit word. The literal meaning of the word is I bow to you. As you see in the graphic on the screen, this beloved being of light has her hands in what we call prayer position. She's literally bowing forward and engaging in this act of honoring that power that exists within us, within you, within me. So often in our modern day expression of namaste, whether it's a yoga class or a spiritual environment or at a coffee shop, we hear namaste and may not actually know what the true meaning of it is and the purpose behind it. And the purpose is to center and to anchor within ourselves and to surrender to it and honor that essence of life that exists not only within all, but as all itself. And so I invite you to take your hands and place them together today in prayer position, bringing them down to our heart, feeling that energy of love that we just put a little of it in there, as per Melissa's song. Remembering that Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder and teacher of the Science of Mind, says that love is the self-givingness of spirit, whose desire is to create more of itself, and the only way it can do that is out of itself, and it does that through you and through me. And let's allow it to do that through us right now as we bow forward, honoring the power itself, saying thank you and namaste. I bow to you, I honor you. Bringing our hands back up to our lips to bless this act. Touching our third eye as a reminder that we have this intuition and wisdom within us. Back to our act of blessing, back to our heart, closing and releasing. Namaste. As I said earlier, we are a community that's come together for over 30 years and pride ourselves in welcoming all races and religions and countries of origins and sexual orientations and all genders and all ability, all expressions of life. For we stand with you both literally and metaphorically. When we started coming together 30 plus years ago under the tutelage of Dr. David Walker in our printed handout each Sunday morning, our program for the day, there was a quote from Ernest Holmes that said, "Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you." Today, as we've now taken a moment to put love in our heart and to honor that love within each and every one of us and to welcome all races, religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, and all abilities, let's take a moment to not only honor that stamp of individuality that it has placed on us, each of us, but on all expressions of light, and say together, we welcome one and we welcome all. Now, you may think that that has no power in this virtual space, but because we are all part of the one mind of God, that infinite expression of life that is forever doing its thing through us, unbound by time and space and or technology, as we open ourselves up, we know that the miracle of this connection begins to make itself known in any way, because it's not just a connection, it is an interconnection. We are all part of the same thing. That's the very essence of the teaching of the Science of Mind, that there's only one, that you and I individualize it, but it's all infinite, one mind, one power, one presence everywhere in the universe. So we teach that here at the Science Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We practice knowing that. We practice knowing that because we remember that we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, meaning that the very thing that we think, the way that we act, interact, and react in this world of our humanity in life is reflected back to us and through us, because the universe that we live in is governed by law, one of which is the law of attraction, the law of reflections, the law of reciprocity, really the law of life. And so what we're called to do then is to fine-tune how we show up in life, to move into a space on a daily basis, on a thought-by-thought basis, on a practical practice basis, to become more spiritually awakened to our innate nature, with whom we are imbued with peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. And as we let those out into the universe, then we become more personally self-empowered. In other words, we become more true to who we are and confident and secure in expressing our divinity through our humanity in a way that makes a footprint and an imprint on the world in a new way. And so as we open up to our morning ritual, that which is called calling in the light. We call in the light today because we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence which we call spirit. And so the purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering a more conscious awareness of our oneness and a remembrance that the light of the divine exists in and as all sentient beings. Light. In the book, The Science of Mind, light is defined in this way. In flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality and have brought back with them a distinct impression of what they've seen and felt. It is that which is. It is the essence of life that is birthless, deathless, changeless, perfection, and wholeness. And so I invite each of us to call that into our being right now. Through an expanded awareness and our choice to become more awakened to the light within. And as we honor this light that exists within all, let's choose to allow it to be a healing light as well. So often we call that the healing candle. Let's take a moment and think of anyone that we would like to put into this healing light, which may include yourself, so that they, as well as you and I, may experience the healing light of the divine. And then allow this prayer of protection to guide us. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God, this presence, protects us. And the presence of God watches over us, for wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Continuing to anchor in this awareness with other senses, we invite Melissa onto the screen to take us through our song for Calling in the Light, which is called Calling in the Light. And I invite you to sing along to this most unique and wonderful and beautiful version. She'll guide you as to when to sing along.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Repeat after me. I am love, I am love, I am peace, I am together, all together, we are whole. I am calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. I am calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. I love that version of Calling in the Light. It's so melodic and sweet and deep and all of that. Thank you. Thank you. It's one of the things that's so wonderful about having different musicians through in the way that stay on screen, Melissa. There you go. Stay there. Stay there. To come in now is to get to hear their different versions. So it's just really, really wonderful. And it just shows the put into form exactly what I was saying, that Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. And its version of you as Calling in the Light is so fabulous and unique and different. So thank you for that. So you now have another song for us. Can you tell us what this song is?
This song is actually a song by Mary Chapin Carpenter.
Love her.
And the first time I heard it, I had a heart attack because it was just awesome. And so I do my version of it. It's called Why Shouldn't We?
Take it away.
All right. And we believe in things we cannot see. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Hands that heal can set a chained man free. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? And we believe there's peace within every heart. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Burning brightly, brightly in the dark. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? So come on, darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, Buddha's at the gate. Allah hears your prayer, it's not too late. Yeah, we believe in things that give us hope. Why shouldn't we? Shouldn't we let your voice be heard? Celebrate your vote. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? And we believe in things that make us all the same. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Love belongs to all those in deed and in name. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? So come on, darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, Buddha's at the gate. Allah hears your prayer, it's not too late. Yeah, we believe in things that can't be done. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Lift up your heart, put down that gun. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? So come on, darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, Buddha's at the gate.
Absolutely. Why should not we? Right? I love the lyrics about open your eyes, right?
Yes,
Just
open
open your
your eyes.
eyes. That's a bit of what I'm going to talk about today is just open your eyes to see things anew, no matter how you've seen them before, no matter what you've heard about this teaching before, no matter how you've lived your life before. Begin to open it and see it in the multiplicity of the oneness in a new way.
Awesome.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Your music brings me such joy.
Thank
And
you.
your smile just awakens my heart. So thank you.
Stop it.
You know we love each other.
I know
We
we
do,
can't.
we do, we do. And we have for many, many, many years. So let's all give a big round of applause virtually to the one and only Melissa Lewis. She'll join us again after my message. So thank you, Melissa. And so, as I was sharing with Melissa just then of what I'm going to speak about today, I'm really happy to be with you on screen today and in your home potentially and probably and just catch up from where we've been in over the last few weeks. This month, as we often do in January, we kick off the year, the calendar year, by taking a look at the first four chapters of the book, The Science of Mind. These chapters are considered the seminal foundation for this philosophy, faith, and way of life that is called The Science of Mind by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And I was struck with awe this week when I saw something on the telly, and I will share with you why after I read this opening to the book, The Science of Mind, which I'm assuming many of you have heard before, and if not, please hear it. This will be the first time you've heard it, obviously. And if you've heard it before, please hear it anew. The opening sentence to the book is, "We all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible to the invisible. Science knows nothing of opinion but recognizes a government of law whose principles are universal. Yet any scientist who refuses to accept intangible values has no adequate basis for the values which they have already discovered." The piece of this that spoke to me this week was we look forward to the day. And I had an experience this week of the day of when not so much science and religion, and yet it was because so many of our people in the world choose to believe what they see on television as their religion, their basis, their truth. And on the third hour of Good Morning America this week, as they kicked off their show for the day, there was a segment on using the science of your mind. Those were their words. And the Dr. Jen Ashton went on to talk about the power of the mind and how it's important when we're beginning to reframe living our life. And she was speaking of it in the context of dealing with the everyday activities as a result of the pandemic that we're living in, that we've all learned that it's important to choose the state of mind that we want our day to be like, and then to put energy behind that awareness, that choice, to allow emotions to frame that with our thoughts and beliefs. And then she went on to say, and then choose to live your day in the as if principle. Quote. Now, we've heard that before. What she was telling her co-host and the viewers out in Teleland is that our mind is the thing that we have to use as the tool to co-create the experience of life that we desire to have. That it's through the fine-tuning of the acceptance of the capacity and the power that we have as expressions of this one mind, that then we can use it because of the power behind it, the thing itself. And she was then talking about not only does that thing itself exist, but she went on to really address the second chapter, not intentionally the second chapter of the book, but to say, and the way that it works is that the law of life responds by corresponding, because it is a law of life, that it's being determined in the scientific world that which we pay attention to in mind, even if it is creating an awareness, a belief, an idea of that which has yet to be experienced, that the mind knows no difference, because mind resonates to that which it holds on to. And because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, then it responds to that by corresponding, Ernest tells us, to the state of mind. Hence the importance to pay attention to the state of mind of the things that we desire in life as opposed to reacting to the thing that shows up, which we call affect or form. Which leads us then to the 4th chapter of this book of, with all of that stuff being true, the thing itself, the way it works, what it does is, how do we use it? And I would like to add to the chapter's title, how do we use it, ... also known as an ellipses, effectively. Because the key is we're always using it, but we want to use it effectively. We want to use it constructively. We want to use it efficiently. Holmes tells us in the book this, in this chapter, because thought is made of the stuff that forms the universe into definite creation, the law is charged with the power that we give it. Now think about that for a second. And some of you may not actually even agree with that, but let's take it on as truth for right now. Because thought is made of the stuff that forms the universe into definite creation. The universe, by the way, into definite creation. The law, that which responds to us by corresponding, is charged with the power that we give it. No more, no less, he writes. It responds by correspondence. It's a mirror, and a perfect one, because we hate imperfect mirrors. Goes on to write, it molds our ideas and belief into visible form and casts them back multiplied. It does not know that it is doing this, but it knows how to do it. This is one of the great enigmas of the universe. I invite you right now to begin to look around the room, wherever you may be seated. And begin to look around it from the perspective that every single thing in it, in form, is a result of the power that you've given the law, as it has created and created then definite form of these things, and that everything that's now in form that you can see is a direct reflection of your ideas and belief. Everything. As I look at the computer and the books that are holding the computer up and the microphone and the hearts over my shoulder and the door and the shelves and the art and the pictures of the schools in Malawi and the paintings from Malawi and the silver frame of beloved family in my life. It's all a reflection in my world as it is in your world, which is actually the same world because there's only one world, of the law responding to my thought. Whether we're conscious of that or not, because what it responds to is our subjective mind. And it's important for us to remember that our subjective mind and subconscious mind is filled with the very things that have taken place both in all of mind itself, but specifically that which we can tend to is what takes place in our conscious mind. So it's important then to use it, our conscious minds, in a way that is developing and turning into ideas and beliefs that are going to be, that are as if predisposed, if you will, to the experiences, the form that we desire. And then let the law of life do its part. How to use it is the title of this chapter. Holmes writes, one of the great difficulties of the new order of thought, new thought, when this was written, that's what this movement was called at the time, is that we're likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. I'm sure all of you have heard this paragraph from this book before. And I'm wanting us to back up and look at, if we are willing to begin to look at everything in our life, beginning with the room that you're in, from the new perspective that it is a reflection of your ideas and beliefs that have moved into this mold and then returned to us multiplied, because that's the way it works, the reflection back to us. then we can realize that today is the day that we have before us the opportunity to move beyond just the theory of this and into practice of then asking ourselves, not only is what being reflected in our world what we want, but what do we want in our world that is in a reflection of our state of mind? What do we want to now prove as new demonstrations in our life of our understanding of the power of our thought and the power of the universe that exists within us? Holmes goes on to write that, as a matter of fact, we only know as much as we can prove by actual demonstration. It's a huge statement. And let's hear it anew. That we can only know as much as we can prove by actual demonstration. That which we cannot prove may or may not be true, but that which we can prove certainly must be and is the truth. He goes on to write, of course, the theory of any scientific principle goes beyond its application at any given stage of its accomplishments. If this were not true, there would be no progress in any science. Well, I know during the life that I've walked on this earth, there has indeed been progress in this mental science called the science of mind. And I know for many of you it's the same case as well. But the question is, are we still approaching this teaching, this philosophy, this faith, this way of life with the same mindset that we came into it with? And if so, stop it. And let today be the day to awaken to a more expansive idea of how we can use it, how we can call this energy of the cosmos that we are one with into a way to demonstrate in our world not just the material things that we desire, but the overarching experiences of life, the energy fields that we desire to be, to express, and to navigate in. The chapter is titled How to Use It. And really, there's only one way to use it, I believe, and certainly as an awakened metaphysician, and I put into the universe that everyone who's watching this and participating in this is indeed an awakened metaphysician. And the only way to use it is this way: consciously. Consciously. To use it consciously. To remind ourselves every single day that we're on this journey, and to constantly and consistently be challenging ourselves to use this power consciously. What does that mean? Well, it means to include things such as questions to ask ourselves, what do I believe today about the thing itself? What do I believe today about the power that I'm imbued with? What do I choose to know today in a way that I didn't know yesterday? Am I clear on what I'm placing my attention on? It's often said that what we place our attention on is a reflection of what our intention is. And then to ask ourselves, are we purposeful on what we're placing our intentions on? It's important to get clearer and clearer and clearer of what our intentions are in life itself. Because as Deepak Chopra tells us, inherent within the seed of intention is the fulfillment of its desire. And so every time we emit and express and release the energy of our being from our mind and our body, we're putting out an intention. And so what we're called to do as we continually awaken to this greater understanding of the multiplicity of oneness and the simplicity of the thing itself is to choose wisely, to follow our joy, to live with faith, to live in bliss, and to be ready at the snap of a finger to forgive ourselves when we haven't done that before, and to forgive others. This morning I want us to begin to use our vision and our attempt at execution of the way that we use our mind in a new way. And not just vision for what we see, but vision for what we hold to be as a potential reality in our life. We've all heard the play on these various different quotes. The first one is, vision without execution is just hallucination. People attribute this from everyone from Edison to Einstein. It's actually been traced back to a Japanese proverb which states this: vision without action is a daydream, and action without vision is a nightmare. It's important for us to remember when we are choosing to use it, the power itself, is to do it from a place of conscious evolution. Using that old quote that you've heard before, and I believe I used it last week, is about conscious evolution, where we're told by Gary Zukav, choice is the engine of evolution. If you choose wisely, you'll evolve wisely. If you choose unwisely, you'll evolve unwisely or consciously. I messed it up. But the point is for us to remember that we have the capacity and the ability, and it's happening whether we're tuned into it or not, to choose to have a vision, to choose to set our intentions at play, and choose to use the power consciously. It's important to remember that no matter who said any of these quotes first, that they make a good point, and that it's important for each of us individually and us collectively to have a creative vision in life so that we may make a change in the world. But vision alone isn't enough. And I know this week, as I was preparing for this morning, I realized I believe I've been quite lax in creating a vision for my life, and I'm ready for that to change today. And so it shall. But vision alone is not enough. What we also need is an execution to make that change real. And so I ask you today to ask yourself, what vision can you hold in your life right now that you didn't hold before you came on to the service? And does this vision better your life? And does it better life? And does it better humanity? What we've learned in this philosophy, faith, and way of life as it's evolved as a mental science over the years is that it's not enough to let our practice of this teaching and our application of this teaching be a solely inward journey. The purpose of it being an inward journey is to create a dance with our divinity and our humanity, to nurture the relationship that we have with the thing itself. But as we nurture and foster a greater connection to that, a conscious connection of that power, it's important for us to then consciously use it as we put it outward in a way that is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence, one person at a time. And that not that we do that from a state of greed or wanting to control others, but it's through an understanding that as we give more of that which we are, then of course it not only returns to us multiplied abundantly, but because we're interconnected, the very thing that is being emitted from us must have an impact on those and all around us. And so it's important to choose wisely. Holmes goes on to tell us about this concept of becoming newly awakened is this. He goes, the students of the science of mind who find this teaching and believe they found the truth oftentimes run through life or a party like a house on fire, spouting these principles and telling people who are suffering from human conditions these conditions are false. But it's important for us to remember that information without application is hallucination. So we're called, as we become more and more awakened to this teaching, to effectively use these principles of the teachings of the science of mind in a way, as I said before, that is bettering humanity. Not to spout them off like a house on fire, but let ourselves be an example of how we're using it. To stay focused on our vision statement of choosing to find personal self-empowerment through the spiritual awakening that we're choosing to be consciously a participant of. And for us to do that, we must be willing to let go of what was. The great Alan Alda tells us this. He says, you have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. And what you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover is yourself. He's telling us to go inward on this journey and let our innate nature of the divine guide us there. And what we'll find is ourselves, but then it's important for us, once we find ourselves, to then share it, to share it with the world. Eckhart Tolle tells us to stop looking outside for scraps of pleasure or fulfillment, for validation, security, or love, that within us you have the treasure within that is an infinitely greater than anything the world can offer. Today I invite us all to hear anew, to know anew, to allow our intuition to be sparked anew within us, to guide us on the journey of our spiritual awakening in a way that has indeed caused us to experience greater and greater and greater personal self-empowerment. For the truth is, the very foundation of these teachings are not new, but they get to be a new thought when we choose to have one. It's been spoken of in many different ways. I'll give you some examples. Jesus, the Christ, said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. The Buddha, that Melissa was singing about coming to the gate, says it's better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Plato tells us every heart sings a song, incomplete until another heart whispers back. Socrates tells us to find yourself, think for yourself. Emerson tells us what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Walt Whitman tells us to keep your face always toward the sunshine, and the shadows of life will fall behind you. And Dr. David Hawkins tells us that love is misunderstood to be an emotion. Actually, it's a state of awareness, a way of being in the world, a way of seeing oneself and others. And Ernest Holmes tells us life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Let's let today be a day that we begin to think into it in a greater way than ever before. That we begin to think into it from a place of being conscious and awake, but also responsible. Let's begin to think into it in a sense of gratitude for the oneness of life, of the interconnectedness of life. And let nature be an example to remind us of all the good that exists in the universe. And to remember that as we continue on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, there are things that we can change and things that we cannot. The Serenity Prayer is a great guide of God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom that exists within you and within me is the very thing that is telling us today that it's time to think anew, to see anew, to live anew, to be anew. And as we move along this journey, be ready and open for the new signs and the wake-up calls. I was at a dinner party last night. It was so loud at this table. And I was getting frustrated, and all of a sudden this woman to my left started talking to me. And at first I didn't want to get into the conversation because I was so distracted. And as I surrendered to the moment, she began talking to me about a book called Signs and the signs that the universe sends. And it was so ironic because as she's talking to me about the book, The Signs of the Universe, I'm realizing that the universe is giving me a sign in that very moment to be present. And as I chose to do that, the whole field of energy around me changed. And I began to remember that the experience of her and her beautiful blush velvet pantsuit and black beautiful blouse that she had on, this beautiful brooch and this wild blonde angelic hair that she had, was all a reflection of the energy of the universe that was expressing itself by means of me. That she was my demonstration for connection and interconnection in this sea of chaos that was happening around me. That's an example of what we're all being called to do today. Brene Brown tells us that the universe is not short on wake-up calls. We're all just too quick to hit the snooze button. And so today, let's stop hitting that snooze button. Let's wake up and engage in life in a new way, and remember that on this journey, it may not always be easy, and we may fall back into patterns of before. But let's remember that this gentle reminder here is telling us of what life's going to be like as we continue on our journey. It comes from Hiyoma Umbinyo from the book Be Gentle with Yourself. And Hiyoma writes, healing, the revealing of the divine in metaphysics is what that is, comes in waves. And maybe today the wave hits the rock, and that's okay. That's okay, darling. You're still healing. You're still healing. And so today, no matter where we are, let's remember to trust the timing of our life. Stay patient, to stay calm, stay determined, stay focused, stay conscious, and most of all, trust yourself, trust your intuition, and trust your journey as we each purposefully and decidedly and intentionally use it, the thing itself. Thank you. And so ends the lesson. I'm going to bring Melissa back to sing another song for us that will continue the journey of what we've been awakened to this morning.
Really? With all you just said?
Yes.
It's so fantastic. Good
Thank you.
Lord. Ah. There's a bluebird sitting on the telephone wire, just bouncing on the breeze, watching cars rush by. Not at all worried, just hanging on tight. So, baby, why can't I? Now there are palm trees sticking up like lollipops, soaking up the heat, letting coconuts drop. Not a care in the world, just living on top. So, baby, why can't I? Somebody finds a golden ticket in a chocolate bar. Someone strikes oil in the dirt. Hey, the prize in the cereal box, the winning bottle top. So many ways it could work. There's a flat in Manhattan with a bayside view. Sun on the horizon up in Malibu. Little change in my pocket going ring-a-ding-a-doo. So, baby, why can't I? There ain't nothing that ain't in the cards as long as my chips roll in. Hey, with all the possibilities, strictly statistically, someday I'm bound to win. And I'll live in wonder looking down from the top, my heart wide open, no way I'm gonna stop. 'Cause it makes me happy, expecting a lot. So, baby, why can't I? There ain't nothing that ain't in the cards as long as my chips roll in. Hey, with all the possibilities, strictly statistically, someday I'm bound to win. And I'll live in a wonder looking down from the top, my heart wide open, no way I'm gonna stop. 'Cause it makes me happy, expecting a lot. So, baby, why can't I?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am, you can. I love that song.
Thank
I
you.
love that song. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so now's the time in our service that we all have the opportunity to support our community financially and know that as we continue on this journey of expressing ourselves in this form, that it's appreciated greatly that each of you take the time and the energy to share your good with our community as we share ours with others. And so I'm going to put on the screen the way to do that. There we go. And so you can go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on Donate, or you can go to the app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and click on the upper left bars, and the screen will come up. You can see the Donate tab. You can mail in a check, and our address is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038, or my phone number's on the screen, and you can call me directly if you'd like for me to handle it privately for you. And let's all just affirm and know that as we give, the abundance of the universe returns to us multiplied abundantly. That's the nature of nature. And so we give today, not with a clenched fist, but with an open mind, an open heart, and an open hand, knowing that the universe in which we live and move and have our being is one of abundance. It's of good. And its nature is to propagate itself out of itself. And so just like love, the only way we can participate in that is when we consciously participate in it. And so we do that right now. For that, I say thank you. And so it is. So we take a moment to participate in our conscious giving. Melissa's going to come on and sing her version of Love Is My Decision, which is so beautiful. Feel free to sing along if you like, and or just listen. Melissa?
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, Source will show me how. Love is my decision. It's my decision, right here, right now. It's my decision, right here, right now.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you so very much for being here today.
Thank you
You
for
definitely you stepped up and did it, and it was wonderful and great, and just such a pleasure, such a genuine expression of love. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
So I look forward to you being back with us another day. So
Absolutely, my pleasure.
good. So much love to the little ones and to your beloved. And
Okay.
keep on keeping on, my dear. Keep on
All right.
keeping on. Thank you.
You too,
Thank
love.
you. Thank you. So also a big thank you to Travis Smith today for supporting us with our audio technician and video technician. A big shout out to Travis for that. A shout out to Robert Hensley as he's away this week again, but appreciative for all that he's doing with us. A big thank you to all of you for being here today, whether it's your first time or your regulars. Just a big, big thank you for bringing your energy field to the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Also, a big thank you to those of you that supported us this week as we supported our Assistant Minister, Reverend Edward Brown, with getting new transportation. It was such a fantastic example of the way this teaching works and the way a community works. And I want to thank Sherry Bazanis and her daughter Christina for organizing and arranging that. And we had a need, and we stepped up and we addressed it, and the universe responded, and all the money was raised. And Reverend Edward is in a new chair right now, and so he has mobility again, and it's all just working out perfectly. That's the way the universe works. And so thank you for your participation in that, and know that it's greatly and deeply appreciated. And I say that on behalf of myself and Reverend Edward as well. And so really, 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 really good stuff. I want to remind you that this week we will continue our midweek meditation. Those takes place Wednesday morning at 8:30. All of that information can be found on our website or through our weekly e-newsletter that goes out the first part of the week. It's also on our app. You can also get links to previous meditations on our YouTube. It would be great to have as many or all of you join us on Wednesday morning at 8:30 for a 10, 15, 20-minute guided meditation. You don't have to turn your camera on. You can just connect and just listen. And it's a great experience. I love doing them. I think they're very powerful, and I would encourage you all to do that. Our next class series starts on February 9th. That's a week from Wednesday. The title of the book is by Pam Grout, and it's called 9 Do-It-Yourself Energy Experiments That Prove Your Thoughts Create Your Reality. I'm really excited about our using this book as a baseline for what we are going to learn. And so if you have any questions on that, please feel free to reach out to me, and let's begin the class. There's a lot of people that are excited about it, as I know I am. And so I'm looking forward to that happening. I think that's it for me. I don't know if there's anything else I'm supposed to remind anyone of. But once again, thank you for being here. And I see a lot of new names on the screen. I really appreciate you all being here. A big shout out to those of you that are here on Facebook as well. And know that we're all continuing to show up in life the best way that we can. And today's the day that we're bringing a newfound awareness to our awareness of how we're showing up. Let's close with a meditation prayer. And following that, we will say goodbye to our say goodbye to our Facebook peeps. And then those of you that are on Zoom can stay on, and we can say a brief hello to each other before we go get ready to watch that football game, right? All right, here we go. And so, I affirm that we all trust to know we're in the perfect and right place today, doing the perfect and right things in life. And so we open ourselves up to the new today. We give ourselves permission and then act in accordance with that permission to have the intention to begin to see and participate in life from a new perspective. We allow these wake-up calls to make themselves known to us, and we say yes. No snooze buttons now. And so we allow ourselves to give greater power to how we use our mind and the law of life itself. And with great expectation, we're ready to receive the good as it comes our way. And so we release any angst, any doubt, any misgivings, any energy with frustration or fear. Just let it go. And open ourselves up to the light. Letting the energy of the cosmos move into our being and illuminate ourselves. And then we choose to shine our light, illuminating the pathway of our own spiritual awakening, thus illuminating it for others as well. So we don't run through the house like a house on fire. We gracefully and graciously and majestically walk through the journey of life itself, anchored in the power that exists within us. Letting the law of life do its thing through us, because it always is. And for that we say thank you. Thank you. Whew, thank you. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you all for being here today. May you have a magnificent and blessed day. May you shine your light in a way that propagates good on the planet. And I affirm that I'm feeling it and seeing it already. So thank you for doing your good right now. Have a blessed day.